Hello folks, and welcome back to Papa Bear Outdoors. This is yours truly, Papa Bear, with you today. This is Friday, November the 23rd, 2018, the day after Thanksgiving, and I am on my way to Kentucky and Barkley Dams, and we're going to be fishing the Tailwaters today, doing some jig fishing, one of my favorite ways to fish. And we're going to be down there in search of crappie, white bass, and sauger. And I used to do a whole lot of tailwater fishing off the bank. And today we're not only going to try to show you a few techniques about jig fishing in general, but I'm going to try to teach you how to read the current. Now you can go down below the dams and fish just about anywhere up and down the bank and luck into a fish or two. But to catch any numbers, you're going to have to know how to read the current and to find the eddies that are along the bank down through there. And I've got a few techniques to where you can quickly eliminate the less productive water and try to find the concentrations of fish. They tend to school up in late fall and early winter, and once you find a school of fish in the current, until that current changes, you can normally catch a lot of fish that way. So y'all hang on for the ride today. I'm 50 miles from Kentucky Dam, but we're going to start out at Barkley Dam, which is another 10 miles, I think, from where Kentucky Dam is by the route I take anyhow. So y'all hang on, we're going to travel out there. I'm just now leaving Ballard County, and hopefully we'll have some footage to show you a little later. But this is Papa Bear with Papa Bear Outdoors. God bless you folks, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye now. Well folks, we are about halfway to Barkley Dam. I'm going to be fishing the tailwaters below the dam on the Cumberland River today. And like I said earlier, going to be doing some jig fishing. I just got my new jigging rod in this week. It's a Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series, 8 feet long jigging rod, and I've got it teamed up with a granite size 20, I think, open face spinning reel, 5.0 to 1 gear ratio, and it's spooled up with some Suffix 832 10-pound braid, and then I've got a 4-pound Yozuri fluorocarbon leader in moss green on that to help that line disappear in the water for me. So I'm really eager to get out there and give this a try. Like I said, it's been a couple, 3 years since I've been tailwater fishing like this off the bank. Been doing more boat fishing and of course my trout fishing in Arkansas and things like that, and pond fishing for bass this year, and hadn't really come down to do this particular type of fishing. I'm really excited to get back to it. Got to negotiate the rocks on the riprap banks below the dam, and that's always an adventure in itself to keep from busting your hiney out there on those rocks. And so for this type of fishing, you want to travel light. I've got a backpack with me that I'll be carrying my tackle in and my gear. That leaves my hands free to hold my rod, and I'm bringing a dip net with me that's going to be not only a dip net, but it'll also help use it for a walking stick while I'm negotiating those rocks. I find the older I get, the more it hurts when I fall, and the longer it takes to to recover from a fall. So I'm going to try to pick my way carefully. Back when I was a younger man, I used to walk these rocks really well, but the older I get, I'm not as nimble as I used to be. So we'll take our time. But I'm going to try to show you how I break the water down from the bank and try to find the current breaks, or eddies, if you will, in the river system. And once you find the eddies, that's where you want to fish. I prefer, when I'm jig fishing, to find an eddy current that is slightly going back toward the dam or upstream. At the very least, coming straight in when you're reeling your line in, you want it to either come straight in or slightly upstream, in my experience. Now you can see surface current, but not all the time is what you're seeing on the surface happening below the water. And so you can quickly find surface current, the eddies, by throwing a piece of driftwood out into the river and watching what it does. But it takes a cast into that water to see what the undercurrent is doing. So we're going to try to show you how to determine how to read those currents, and hopefully we will find some fish as well, and be able to hook up with this new rod and reel combo that I've got that I hadn't. This is the maiden voyage we did. Hopefully it performs well. It's a two-piece rod, and I have had rods come apart in the past, and it can be. And my son found this out on a couple of trips ago, out there at Mammoth Spring, Arkansas, where his rod come off, and he hung up trying to get the rod back, and wound up breaking off and losing the upper section of his rod. So to avoid that, I have epoxied the two-piece joint, the ferrule, and together, so it won't come apart. And we'll see how that works out for me. But I'd rather not lose my rod that way, especially down below the dam, because once that rod section comes off and a jig gets down in the rock down there, you can just call it a day on that fishing rod, because you don't normally get it back. And one thing about jig fishing in this riprap is be prepared to lose some jigs. Have enough jig heads with you and jig bodies. It's just part of the game, hanging up and losing some of your gear. If you're not bumping those jigs off the rocks, you're not getting down deep enough, and you won't catch as many fish. Most of the time, especially this time of year, those fish will be sitting right on the bottom, and if you're not getting the bait to them, you're not going to catch the fish. So just be prepared and have plenty of jigs with you when you're doing this type of fishing. You can go to a heavier line and retrieve a lot of those if they're hanging up on the hook part. If you hang the jig head, if you wedge it in the crack, you're just not going to get it back. That's just the way it is. But the thing about it is, the heavier line that you use in this current down here, the less natural that bait reacts in the water. And sometimes these fish are very finicky, and you need that extra thin line to make that jig perform the way it needs to perform. And also you want to go to the lightest jig head that you can get by with in the amount of current that you have. I use anywhere from a 1/16 ounce to an 1/8 ounce jig head, or 3/32 is a real nice jig weight. And sometimes I do a double jig setup with 2 1/16 ounce jigs on. Starting off, I think I've got a single jig and an 1/8 ounce tied on currently. But you just got to read the current and what the conditions dictate that you need. And of course, the heavier line that you use, the heavier jig head you got to use. It's the current versus the line resistance in the water. So the thinner line, the strongest and thinnest that you can go. That's why I like using braid, because that 10-pound braid that I'm using is the size of 4-pound monofilament. So it's going to cut through that water, plus braid telegraphs every little bump and every little, you can feel that all the way up into the reel seat. Whereas your mono has a certain amount of stretch in it. And so we're going to, but I use the fluorocarbon to help camouflage the line so the fish aren't able to see the line tied to the jig. All right, we're getting a lot closer. We're about 10 miles away from Kentucky Dam currently. And like I said, we're going to start off at the Barkley Dam. I'm going to start off on the lock side of the river. I fish a lot on the lock side, sometimes down in the lock basin, or anywhere out to the 800-foot mark. There are commonly at least 2 eddies along that stretch between, say, the 1,000-foot mark and the dam itself. So what we're going to try to find is those eddies. There should be 2 of them, and every once in a while you'll find 3 along that stretch of bank, that 400 to 600 feet of riverbank there. And like I said, we're going to try to find a current that is flowing slightly upstream, but it's the speed of the current that we're concerned about. We don't want it ripping upstream, but just when you're retrieving your lure, if you cast straight out ahead of you, we want that lure to wind up no greater than like the 2 o'clock position when you finish your retrieve. That's about the speed we want that. And if you can find it where you can get that down to the 1 o'clock position, that is the prime rate of speed on the current. So it's a little more than just finding you a spot to sit down and casting jigs. You've got to learn to read that current. So we're going to do that today, and hopefully I'm not too rusty at it, and we'll find some fish biting, and that'll be a fantastic thing. All right, this is Papa Bear with Papa Bear Outdoors. We'll see you as soon as we get to our fishing hole. God bless you, folks. All right, folks, we have arrived right here at Barkley Dam, the tailwaters of the Cumberland River, right here in Lake City, Kentucky. There's the hydroelectric dam. Looks like they have 2 gates open today. And the current actually looks pretty good out there. No white foam out on the center part of the river right now, so that tells me that we may have some fishable water out here. Going to be doing a lot of walking and searching at the very beginning of this trip to try to find the current breaks. Just saw a big fish break the water out in front of this set of steps right here. And if you read the surface current, you can see some of the currents out there. That may be a place to start looking for our eddy right there. Like I said, we need to travel light because we got to negotiate all these rocks. And if you're carrying a whole lot of equipment, it makes it harder to navigate these rocks down here. So we'll be fishing right off the riprap. Got a little bit of north wind today. So we'll have that to contend with when you're throwing light jigs on light line. That wind can be an issue, being able to feel your jig. That current looks like it's breaking downstream pretty hard right here. Now there may be an eddy down that direction, but it looks like it's shooting pretty fast downstream right here, so we need to go up toward the dam some. I'd like to find the first eddy up here. Now, while we walk the river bank, I'm going to keep my eye out for pieces of driftwood, because we'll need that driftwood once we get to a place that looks promising. We'll toss that driftwood out on the water. There's a couple pieces. And see how the current is reacting, or at least the surface current. We can see the river is up. Got a bunch of little brush out in the water. Had a lot of rains and one snow recently. It's got the river swollen right now. This is my Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series, Pro Series jigging rod. It's an 8-foot long rod with a medium light action. Teamed up with my Granite 2000 reel and the Suffix 832 10-pound braid. So that is, and then we have about 16 inches of Yozuri 4-pound fluorocarbon line. That is the setup today. We got a Garland style 3-inch jig with a 1/8 ounce jig head tied on currently. Now we have an eddy right here. Now whether that eddy is just starting to make the turnaround right there. You can watch that water for a second. Traditionally, I've caught a lot of fish in this stretch right through here. All right, there's a piece of driftwood all the way already in the water, and it is going slowly downstream. So we're eliminating water. The speed of the current, like I said earlier, has got a lot to do with where we're going to fish. I think we're about to get to where we want to be. If where I want to be has got fish biting in it. Almost. What I'm doing, folks, is watching. Okay, saw that fish come up, and the fish coming up right there. Watch how the water ring. See, that water ring didn't go downstream just then when that fish arose. There's another piece of drift. This will do us nicely. All right. We are about to the spot, I think. Right. Okay, that piece of driftwood is slowly floating downstream. I have fished all the way up near the wing wall up there of the locks and caught sauger. Saw a walleye that was caught out of there. It's been many years ago now, but it was about a 6.5, 7-pound walleye, which we're not noted for walleye in this part of the country. So that was memorable, to say the least. All right, let's try another toss. Still going downstream, but it is very slowly going downstream. We're about to get there. All right, folks, you see that? That is setting stationary in the water. Here's where we start. That means the current's coming straight in toward the bank right here. So we will fish from here, and within a 50-yard stretch up toward the dam, we should hit the upstream current. The farther up we go, up to a point. This is what we're looking for. This is the eddy right here. I can see it right in front of me, which is a wonderful sight to me. Now, folks, with the wind, we want to be able to get our rod and hands as low to the water as we can to keep the rod down out of the wind. So what I look for is a nice flat rock to sit on where I can get as close to the water as possible. And here it is right here. That's what the boat cushion is for. Get the net in a place that's quickly accessible. Go ahead and take this backpack off. And I did bring some leeches with me today as well. So we'll have them close by in case I want to tip my jigs with live leeches. All right, somewhere good and comfortable. Got my jig off. We're ready to start fishing, folks. First cast with the new rig. right, let it hit the water, let it sink. You just got to get a feel with how deep it is in here. Let it sink and then slowly jig it in. I like the feel of this rod so far. I like the current so far. This is what I'm looking for. It's going just slightly upstream right now. All right, I'm going to adjust the camera up a little bit. There we go. Now, we'll warn you that below these dams, the current or the water level can change on you, so you're constantly monitoring. You may be fishing on dry and look down and then your feet be in the water, so be aware of your surroundings. Like the feel of this combo so far. I like it better when I get a fish on here and see what it's going to do for me. I see some white pelicans out on the water. All right, folks, we've moved down river about 40 or 50 yards, and right now I've switched over to a 3-inch black and blue Ned rig with the weedless hook. See if weedless and rockless are the same thing. We'll give her a try. We got a little bit more downstream current here, at least on the surface. I need to find a little more current than what we had. Although I was liking it, the fish weren't in it. I had the one little tiny bump that felt maybe like a bluegill bump. But it doesn't matter if I like the current if the fish aren't biting. So we'll give this a try, and until we find some active fish, we'll just keep moving around, which is the way you got to do it. Jig fishing these tailwaters, eventually you'll find a cluster of fish. You got to keep experimenting with the colors as well until you land on something they're wanting to bite. There he is, folks. We got one on. We got a fish on. I don't know what it is, but it's sizable. First fish on the new rig. It may be a darn old Asian carp, the way it's feeling. But it is a fish nonetheless. Ah, gosh, it looks like a big old white perch, is what it looks like. Yeah, ain't that something? Big old white perch on the net rig. Barely fits in the net. Look at that, folks. Oh my gosh, what a toad. What a toad. That Ned rig sticking right in the corner of his mouth. I want to get out the scale and weigh this behemoth. Not exactly the fish I was after, but it was the first fish of the day. And what a way to break in this new jigging rod. Be still, rascal. Seven pounds, 6 ounces. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Well, that says 7 pounds, 10 ounces. I was wondering, he was kind of flopping around a while ago. I'll go with 710. 7 pound, 10 ounce white perch. Not what I'm after, but boy, was that fun, folks. Hit the old Ned rig. And I believe that's my first Ned rig fish, matter of fact. All right, let's straighten that, curve that hook back. He kind of straightened it a little bit. There we go. Ned rig has struck. All right, we're gonna put one on for my wife, the redhead Babaloo. Her favorite color. This is for you, Babaloo. She will be tickled if I catch a fish on her color. Here it is, going on 2 o'clock, and my breakfast is worn off. My stomach's letting me know about it. There it is. Put that pinky out there. There it is. Oh my, folks. You see that? Land sakes. That's the second hit on that pink. He hit it once and I didn't hook him. Oh my. Look at there, redhead. This is for you, girl. If I can land it. Tell you folks, this may be a medium light rod, but man, this thing's got good backbone for as light as it is. Another one of them big old white perch. Oh my goodness, won't even fit my net. Oh, land sakes, folks, 2 of them toads. There we go. Hoo-wee pig. I'm gonna have to pull the phone out and I can get a picture, send out on Facebook on the last one. So we're gonna take a picture this time. Right, time to get the scales out. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Can you believe that? 2 of them big hogs in the same day. My. It's amazing how light a big fish like that hit. It was just a little tap. You could have mistaken it for a bluegill tap. And it wound up being 7.5 pound fish. Folks, I am extremely pleased with my Lew's Wally Marshall Pro Series IM8 flank 8-foot jigging rod. Extremely pleased with it. It is light in the hand, and yet it's got, as you see, some backbone to it. Got great action. And I am a big fan of cork handles to start with. Just a lovely rod. Just about ready to give it up, folks. Wind's picking up. The harder the wind, the harder it is to jig fish, because you really need to feel everything going on the end of that line. If you can't feel what's going on down there, you're going to stay hung up or you'll miss your bites. So this is the last hurrah right here. To just a slightly lighter jig head then. Stayed with the Roadrunner style horsehead jig, but went to the lighter one that I have. This is probably a 1/8 ounce or thereabouts. Or it could be 32nd and the other one 1/4, I don't remember. And they're not marked. There he is. Yeah, we got this feels like a regular fish here. What we got, folks? Ah, little yellow bass. Look at there. I finally caught an eater fish, even though this is too small. There we go. Look at that. You squeeze in on them gills, that's what these fish do right there. All right, I'm glad to see that fish. This gives me confidence to come back tomorrow if my son-in-law can make it. We'll give it a try. Yellow bass are good eating. That one's just a little bit small. That was my first non-drum fish right there of the day. They are opening the lock gates right now. Doggone it. Felt like it was caught on some of this vine stuff. All right, glad to get it out. That was the signal to the yacht over there that it's time for them to enter the locks. There we go, folks. Got another one. Yeah, pretty close to the bank here. Largemouth. Oh, that's a dandy. Oh, look at there. Nice. Nice little largemouth right there. Sweet. Just for giggles, we're going to weigh this one. £1, 11 ounce largemouth bass. That's a healthy one. Nice. Yeah, that made it fun for me. Glad to have that fish. I was getting ready to pull my line up, getting close to the bank, and I figured it was some type of game fish the way you hit it, because I accelerated the lure going to pick it up out of the rocks. That was a nice little largemouth. I was proud to have him. It's the kind of current I've been looking for all day long right here. Oh, and it's starting to fish. Starting to turn the fish on here. Folks, this is what we're looking for right here. Another cast or two, and I'm going to head out if I don't catch anything. About ready to get home, get something to eat. Start editing this footage for Papa Bear Outdoors. Folks, I'd like to remind you, as you're watching this video, to subscribe to my channel and like the videos and share them with your friends. Leave me any feedback in the comment box, and tell me what you like or don't like about the show, and just let me know what you'd like to see. Maybe is any of this information I'm putting out there of any use to you? Or am I just yammering away for my own benefit? Let me know, folks. I'll try to give you something that's a benefit to you. If you hit the little bell, there's I missed him, or lost him. There was a fish. If you hit the little bell on the page, over close to the subscription button, it will give you notifications of when my new videos come out. That way you won't miss any of them. I had a fish on there for a second, but he got off. I didn't get him stuck good. Got some more of that striper current out there. Kind of felt like what that might have been, possibly. Oh, 2 bites in a row. I missed them. Pretty good bite there. Yeah, that striper current. Tell you what, I am going to swim this jig through that current. Won't let it drop all the way to the bottom. See if there's something in the mid-range of that current. That bump. He didn't get it all the way in his mouth though. There he is. There he is. Another largemouth. Another largemouth, folks. All right, last cast, folks, hook or crook. Last cast. Wouldn't you know it, on my last cast. Got my jig back, look at there. That's sweet. Alright guys, it's sure been fun to be out here fishing down below Barkley Dam. And I spent a little while below Kentucky Dam today. It hadn't been a red letter day by no means, but I didn't get skunked. And as always, it was good to be out in God's creation. I've said this often, I enjoy hunting, but I love fishing. My heart's in fishing. And the older I get, the less excited I get about killing animals. I don't know. It just, I'm not quite as mad at them as I used to be, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy deer hunting, turkey hunting, squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting. I enjoy it. But I love fishing. It is my passion. And it's always good when I can get out and stretch a line. Right here is a piece of equipment that's very important when you're down here jig fishing 6 or 7 hours at a time on these rocks. Come to find out that is a very good thing to have with you. Carry one with me, but you know what, the older I get, I'm hoping I'm learning something. We're going to work our way back up these treacherous rocks here, try to get back to the truck without breaking a bone. Folks, subscribe to my channel, like the videos that you like, give me some feedback, let me know what you want to see, or if these little tips that I've been giving you are any use to you, or if you'd rather just see me catch fish and shut up. Just tell me one way or another. But anyways, this is Papa Bear. Well, Papa Bear Outdoors out on the Cumberland River below Barkley Dam. And I'm signing off, heading back to Barlow. And we'll see you next time. God bless you, folks. I mean it. God bless you. We'll see you now. Bye-bye.